Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna dive underwater and talk about tubes versus finesse jigs, how we fish them in the wintertime, and what you need to know about both of them. We'll see you under.
Have to lip it. It's a good one.
Oh yeah. Yes sir. On the tube.
That right there is the right time. Look at it.
There we go, on the tube. All right guys, the first kind of tube that we're gonna throw is your traditional tube with a tube head in it. See, you can see that lead head in there. It's got that exposed hook and it's got that 60-degree line tie. That's really what we like to see in a tube. You can fill up that tube with scent if you want to. I like to fish max scent tubes a lot. I feel like they give you an advantage in cold water. So there's your traditional tube, right? This is great around rocks, sand, your traditional deep water structure. This is a finesse bait. It's gonna excel in cold water when nothing else is gonna catch fish. The tube is an awesome way to get it. We were catching them in the pond the other day, right? I have a lot of faith in a tube. Now, there's another way to rig a tube. Bass Pro Shops actually sells these 1/4 ounce tube rig inserts. And what they're meant to do is go inside of a tube and make it weedless. So it ends up taking the hook and sitting inside of the body of the tube like that, right? This is a 4/0 Gami extra wide gap hook. I love red for some reason. Fish bite it better. But how you rig this up, right? And we'll put the link for this in the description of the video. How you rig this up is you're gonna take that tube, you're gonna open it up, you're gonna slide this tube weight in there, right? And then you feel with your hand, okay, that is where that hole is. So I come down here with my hook, and what I'm gonna do is go through that weight, push it out the nose of that tube right there, right? So now my weight is hooked on, it's not going anywhere, right? If I tug against it, it's not, then you're just gonna Texas rig this tube. And it's totally weedless on the bottom right there, and it's going to come through everything that you can imagine, right? When I'm fishing any kind of grass, any kind of scattered, matted, dead vegetation, and it calls for the tube, this is how I'm gonna throw it, right? It settles on the bottom differently, almost like that, but in the wintertime, that's not that big of a deal because nothing is up super, you know, exposed, things like that. So that's a different way that you can fish that tube. Now, the tubes are great most of the time, but sometimes if you can find hard structure, rock veins like that, the jig is going to get bit. Now, here is basically a 1/8 ounce to 1/4 ounce football head jig, and that's what I'm gonna throw 90% of the time. I also, in the winter time, I like a do nothing trailer, right? This Zoom crawl worm, I cut it down because it is literally flat. As you can see there, it is totally flat. It has dead action in the water, but those pinchers are gonna come up. They're a nice contrast color. I really like that orange color on it. I really like this jig right here. It's got some black and blue in it, but it is a matte jig. And when you see it hit the bottom and fan out like that, that's what you wanna do. Any kind of finesse jig that you throw, you really wanna make sure that it's got a good spread on the bottom, and you can see it underwater. I like to throw the jig around hard cover. I like to throw the tube around more open, grassy cover. It's just a more efficient way to cover water when it's the winter time.
So guys, let's recap. Here's the traditional tube. You can see how it stands up on the bottom. This does great in sparse cover, sand flats, scattered rock, anywhere that's not too snaggy. You're gonna be able to fish that tube. You can drag it, hop it. It's gonna get bit in very cold water and clear water situations. Here is the Texas rig tube. It's gonna lay flatter on the bottom, dead action. It's great around dying vegetation. It's great around weeds. It's great around weed lines. It's great skipping under docks. Anywhere that you're gonna snag a normal tube, you wanna fish the snagless Texas rig tube. It's got a rattle in it too, so you can give it shakes, but it's going to lay flatter on the bottom. It's got a deader action, so it's meant for cover. And finally, you have the Finesse jig here. It's gonna fish really, really good around rock veins, chunk rock, anything like that. Tubes are gonna get snagged up, jigs won't. You want a dead action trailer on that jig. Living rubber skirts sometimes are better, sometimes they're worse. You just gotta play around with it. I like matte colored jigs in the winter. Nothing's really bright and shiny.
But thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. We appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something about the way that tubes move underwater, when to throw the weedless tube, when to throw the traditional tube, right? In what conditions we like to throw them. But hopefully you learned something today. Hopefully you enjoyed the underwater video. Let us know in the comment section what you want to see us do in the future. If you want to see us do more specific lures, you want to see us do new lures, let us know, guys. We're here, we're growing. We want to make sure that we're getting you information that matters. We'll see you out there next time.